My guest today, Neil Positivity, was born and raised in America's poorest and most dangerous city. Neil has firsthand experience in transforming life trajectories and altering mindsets. Discovering the law of attraction in March of 2008 sparks his obsession, leading him to early retirement from the police department just 8 months later. Over the past 16 years, Neil has interviewed over 2,000 mindset specialists, integrating their greatest techniques with his own, transitioning from working over 40 hours a week to retiring at the age of 28. Neil is not only a father and avid pilot, but also a keynote speaker, MC, and the voice of the Thoughts Become Things movement. Welcome, Neil.
Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Welcome to Born to Achieve podcast, the show that inspires and motivates you to unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. With your host, Warren Andrew Pinder. Let's get started on this week's episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve.
We have today a very special guest, very special guest, someone that have shared philosophy, someone that, in just meeting on the phone, speaking with him one time, had me really going, thinking and digging into what is my belief, knowing that I am born to achieve greatness. So here today, we want to introduce Neil. Unfortunately, I asked Dominic, you need to tell me your last name or your full name.
Neo Positivity.
Yeah, but I was trying to find it, and in all honesty, but it's good. Neo Positivity.
That's it. Everything. Neo
That's it.
Positivity.
All right, Neo, tell our audience here in the Bahamas, where you're from, and a little about yourself and the great things that you are doing in this this space.
Well, first of all, I want to say a huge shout out to Bahamas. I've been there once. Absolutely amazing, beautiful. I love you guys, and I can't wait to come back. My name is Neo from neopositivity.com. I am a thought specialist, a mindset changer, a guru, and top dog in my class at anything law of attraction related, anything changing your mindset, changing the brain's algorithms so it throws at you different ideologies and different responses. And so you vibrate at a different frequency. That's what I've been dabbling in the last 16 years. And since I've been here, since I started, it was clear that this is what I was meant to do on this earth. And it's been evidently clear every day since. And I got to tell everybody, when you know what your purpose is, you know what it is.
That is so true. Tell me what inspired you. What inspired you to really dwell into living your purpose?
You know what? I'd say two things. First, I was introduced to a movie called The Secret. I'm sure you're familiar with it. That's what taught me what you see on this shirt, every shirt.
Yes.
Where now it says Thoughts Become Things on it, because it had that kind of impact on my life. It just filled in puzzle pieces about my past and how things work. And it really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And the second part was being able to apply it to different things and practices that I had done before. Because when you learn something, you could try it and see if it works. But it's cool to be able to look at a 1,000 other previous situations in your life where you were doing it and you didn't know, and it worked. Whether you were creating greatness or sadness in your life. Either way, it's a formula and it works. And those two things together, like I said, since then, every shirt I wear says Thoughts Become Things on it, because that's how profound it's been and how it's changed everything. I learned this phrase and retired 8 months later.
Wow. Let's speak about Thoughts Become Things. Let's tell persons how they can literally live that out in their lives. For example.
I would say the first thing is you got to understand and believe that it's real. A lot of people will try to use Thoughts Become Things, and when they're not millionaires by day 2 or 3, they're like, maybe it doesn't work for me. Coming to the realization that you're using it every day anyway, and that it's going to take a multitude of thought and energy to put into something in order for it to formulate into something physical in your life. It's not just like you think about something and it pops up. Life would be crazy if that was the situation. So really believing in it is the biggest step, because that will cause you to do what I call mental exercises. And that's how I change my brain algorithms. So if I don't have the drive to do those exercises, I just won't do them. And without believing in this, I wouldn't have the drive to do it. And using my history has really made me believe in it. Even before I had started proactively manifesting things, is what I like to call it. When you sit down and actively focus on something, before I even knew what that was, being able to piece stuff together from my childhood and be like, wow, this stuff really works, good and bad. That was it. So believing it will give you the drive to do the exercises. Once you do the exercises and stay disciplined, you will change your mindset. Mindset will directly reflect your outcome.
For those listening, right? And when we're talking about that, like I mentioned to you, Earl Nightingale, some old listeners may really have remembered him. Here in the Bahamas, he used to have a show. He was like a long time motivator. This is the Earl Nightingale show, right? So they give them an example, simple, something simple, how a thought can actually turn into becoming a reality.
I'll tell you how I view it first. And I think of each thought we have like in that 60 to 70,000 thoughts on average per day per person. So let's just say 65,000 thoughts I'm going to have today on average. I think of each thought like a drop of water. Picture a little dropper, a drop of water going into different flower pots. Okay. And so you got things you like about your house, things you don't like about your house, things you like about your spouse, things you don't like about your spouse. And all day long, you're watering these flower pots, an ocean of different flower pots. You're watering them. And majority rules. The flower pot that gets the most nourishment, the most thoughts, accompanied with emotion, of course, because they got to have emotion in those thoughts. It can't just be hollow.
Right.
The flower pots that get the majority is what will grow. And where there once was nothing, now there's something physically in your life, in your day. And that's how I really try to think of it. So when you take that philosophy and you really make it a root of your being, you will proactively correct yourself when your brain is straying off to a place that you don't want it, negative scenarios. So you keep doing that. The brain is a muscle, has muscle memory. Your brain will start to do that automatically for you. So that's working in your favor in the background. Now, as far as really visualizing, I got this from the movie The Secret. I took a check. I wanted to retire. I took a check. I wrote it out for what my monthly payment would be if I had retired. And I put one in my pillow. I put one in my wallet. I had one in my car because I was just printing them out off The Secret's website.
Yeah.
And every time I looked at it, every time I felt it, every time I reached in my pocket, I was like, what's this paper? Oh, yeah. I would get myself in a headspace of I'm already retired. Now, already being the key word in there. And it can't be hollow. You can't just say, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich. No, you need to be smiling. You need to be bare. You need to be vibrating at that frequency, because any two things that vibrate at the same frequency will naturally pull towards each other. You and that future, that lifestyle, that future you will naturally pull towards each other until that plan, like I was talking about watering seeds, is in your face. So that's it. It's just repetition. There's also inspired action. You're going to be prompted. You're going to get little whispers and taps on your shoulder to do things, go places, meet this person, take this meeting you wouldn't normally take. Those inspired actions, plus the repetition of saying and feeling those things, can only produce those things.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Man, written by Warren Andrew Pinder and Dominique Bradford. This book passionately focuses on the challenges women have been made to go through and how to overcome them. In some cultures, being a woman disadvantages the girl child. This book carefully exposes the hurdles you might face. This masterpiece is the ultimate self-help guide for women. It reveals your true purpose and identity. Get your copy today. Available from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
Wow, that's powerful. You said action a few times, right? And so it basically, success is the person identifying a goal and living out that goal, living out, taking action to really live out the goal. And this here, so basically, if you know that you're thinking about on an offset I mentioned to you, we can look at a negative side, we can look at a positive side. And simply put, if you continue to think that you're sick, you'll make yourself sick. Right? That's just to give a real analogy of what you're talking about. At the same time, if you think that you're going to be a success and you set those goals, but you have to take action, you will become a success. Am I on course with what you're talking about? Neo-positivity?
1,000%, man. You got to get off your butt and take the action. It's going to be inspired action, and it is going to be something that it will take you out of your comfort zone, but that's when you will grow. Yeah. I always tell people, let's say you make $100,000 this year. If you want to make $120,000 next year, something's got to change, right?
Right.
Or else you'll make 100 again. Now, let's say you want to make $200,000 next year. You might have to change everything. That's a complete 100%. You got to be vulnerable. You got to take the inspired action. And faith is a huge part of it, knowing that it's going to be, it's going to turn out the way you want it to turn out. And I think the biggest part is your expectations. Yeah. You can say what you want and smile in front of all your family members. But if you truly expect to fail, they say 99% of small businesses fail within the first year. They expected it just because of that statistic, because of their confidence level. They've never done this before. They're expecting it. And that's the thing about the brain. I can say the most outlandish thing, and my brain will say, well, that's not even really possible. But in another universe, this and that could happen. Yeah. Now, the more I say it, the more my brain is going to start to give me ways that make sense to actually make this happen. So now it's just not far-fetched. It's like, well, if these two things, now you're starting to believe in it. You keep going. Now your plans are getting better. You're starting to meet people. It's starting to come into fruition. And now you're confident that it is going to happen. Then it's there. And those are the steps. That's the phase right there. So if you expect to fail or you expect to win, either way, you're right. And that's why all the brain algorithm, all the programming, all the affirmations that I do, alarms that I have set to do affirmations, that is all to reprogram my brain to believe it. Right. Once I expect it, it's not just, it might, once I expect it to come, like you expect to wake up in that house tomorrow that you woke up in today. That's it. You want a mansion, you don't expect to wake up in a mansion. Think about it. What would it take for me to really get you to expect to wake up in a $200 million mansion in Los Angeles tomorrow? It would take a lot for me to get you to truly expect that deep down inside. And that is what the universe requires of you. So it is a huge test. It is difficult, but not impossible.
How much of being able to envision, being able to see yourself sitting in that mansion or achieving the success we talk about, what's the correlation between the connection between the positivity and you becoming successful?
Imagination is everything. And people talk about how we lost our imagination as kids, from being kids to adults, but we didn't lose it. You still imagine things all day long, just as much as you did when you were a kid. The only thing is now you're imagining bills and problems and that last Facebook post. You got to get back to playing. You got to get playing. What happens up here is a prerequisite to what's going to happen out there. So whatever our thoughts become things, whatever you're thinking about up there, majority is going to happen out here. You got to get back to Wonderland and play. And when you play, you got to smell every detail. When I envision myself on these tours that I be on and doing these shows all these gigs that I do, I envision myself walking down the hallway from the hotel room to the elevator. It's boring. It's nothing happened. The sense, getting on the elevator, pushing the button. I visualize so hard every detail that I can that the universe has no choice but to put me there. So it's not just thinking about the good times, being rich. If you're going to visualize being rich, visualize spending the money on something to do with your kids. Have that fun. That's going to make you smile more. And you're going to feel it more. You're going to vibrate at that frequency. Don't just visualize being rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. No, be using that money for something.
Yeah.
And then take action.
Even before you got it, or even before you got it already, know that you budgeted. You budgeted for whatever that goal, that time, when you said that time that you're going to be able to have that. But you know that you're calling on that. That's something that you expect.
You got to know it like it already happened. You're just waiting for the universe to catch up.
Yes.
You have to be that solid about something for it to happen. And if you can't see yourself getting that solid about being rich, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
That there are going to be steps in between you and getting rich where you get a $10,000 hit and then a $50,000 hit. And you get a check for 80 grand. There's going to be a lot of steps in between that are going to allow it to be more believable. So you feel it more and get you there faster. But from now to that first chunk, there's going to have to be some blind faith. And it's got to be serious blind faith.
Real confidence is everything that you walking with your head high, knowing places may be watching you, actually talking to yourself, or you giving yourself that affirmation that this is where I'm going to be, and you checking the time, you checking the goals, your timelines as to when you expect, because you know the universe is going to come through.
I want to challenge everybody, and I'm going to challenge you too.
Yes.
The next time you're inside your mind envisioning yourself, being the best or being number one at something, or the best you that you've ever been, whatever it is, at some point, you're going to kind of go overboard where you're like, whoa, I don't want to say it too much. And then God smite thee, you know what I mean? Because when you're saying confidence, you're saying, I don't care. I'm going to win no matter what. And at that point, in certain religions, people might be like, whoa, I don't want to go too hard because then God might slap me down to humble me.
Right.
I want to challenge everybody at that point to go harder. Right when you're like, I'm not going to say that I'm going to win too much because, I don't want to get slapped in the face to be No, go harder. Push harder. Keep that confidence. Don't be out loud talking trash to everybody, but in here, in your mind, in your soul, push harder and just know that you're the best and just watch what happens. Because I had so many people I talked to at that point, they laugh with me. They're like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Right when I'm getting ready to shoot that game-winning shot, I'm like, I won, I got this. And you're like, oh, I don't want to go too hard. Because if it's not in the plan, it's not in the plan. And you know what I mean? Push harder. Push harder.
I feel that 100%. I can already feel that. What challenges were you able to overcome? Just knowing that thoughts become things.
I would say not knowing for the first 28 years of my life, growing up in the poorest and most dangerous city in America, growing up where my mom just disappeared from the age of 9 until she showed up at my high school graduation. And like I said, living in the hood, being a police officer in the hood, there's just the different situations. My dad got a promotion and moved us from the hood to a rich white neighborhood, they call it, and dealing with the racism there, racism from the school systems, the things my teachers used to say to me is atrocious. All those things and the way they used to beat me down in the hood, they said you won't graduate, you'll die before you're 21. That's what they say in the hood. I moved to the rich white neighborhood and they said, you'll never make anything of yourself. Every day, people are beating this into your system. And something in me I just refused. I refused to believe that I was going to listen to them for one, believe them for two, or be working in that town in 20 years. No, I'm gone. I'm a rocket ship. I knew that. So that was like a huge part of what made me me. So when I learned about the law of attraction, like I said, it just lined all that up for me. And that is what put my emphasis, my heart, my soul into it. And once I did that, everything. I mean, cussing my kids. No one I know has custody of their kids. I'm about to have my
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. I'm about to have my 5th Super Bowl ring in 4 years.
You see it? The love it. You can see it. You use that. You use this for that.
Now for a commercial break.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, because I work with the Eagles in Kansas City.
Okay.
The Eagles are playing Kansas City. No matter who wins, and I'm beating my you make two in right away. Yeah,
Vegas wouldn't buy that though.
so I love it when and just being able to say I manifest situations like that is just it's really insane. Like in America, we have been insane with taxes and all this other stuff. And one of my biggest things was I don't want to ever pay taxes again. Like this is crazy.
Yeah.
And part of my retirement package is I don't have to pay taxes anymore. It's like insane. Like if I do a speaking gig, then yes, I got to pay taxes on that. But my pension and my retirement package that I got from being a police officer, I'll never pay taxes again on that. And it's like, how the heck did I do this? It's amazing what we can pull off, but as long as we take the steps back to bask in that glory.
Yes.
Like me smiling and talking about this is why I love talking about this. Me talking about this stuff right now is guaranteeing that sometime within the next 7 days, I'm gonna be feeling this feeling again.
Right.
I've been here, and that's
Yes.
for that. I live for that, and
Well,
it's a circle of life. You know, you think things, it happens. You feel good by thinking things, and it happens. It's just a beautiful thing.
So we're telling our audience, right, to incorporate the law of attraction into their lives. Give them the basic steps of how would you recommend they do this?
First, you gotta practice waking up. If you remember to wake up is the hardest part. And what I mean by waking up is just disassociating yourself from whatever's happening. Just wake up from whatever's in the room. I like to rub my fingers together like this. This is what's happening right now in this moment. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, amazing book. Just grounding. Right now, I've disassociated from everything. This podcast, what time it is, it's just me and my fingers. That's getting centered.
Yes.
That's the now. That's the moment. You have to practice doing that throughout the day. If you set an alarm and do it 10 times today, you'll probably do it on your own 3 times tomorrow, which is great. You build that up to do it more and more. Once you do wake up, now you got to take it somewhere. Now you got to do something. The secret says to carry a pebble in your pocket. Every time you feel it in your pocket, you're like, what's that? Oh, yeah, that's the pebble. Then you do an affirmation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Or yes, yes, yes. Whatever affirmation is. I kept losing the pebble. And so I went to Atlantic City because it was right up the street from me in New Jersey. I don't see one right now, but I made a poker chip. I got a $50 poker chip because I knew I wouldn't lose it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose this in the wash. And that ended up me making my own neo-positivity poker chips.
Right.
And that's what it is. I feel it in my pocket. I do my affirmation. So outside of not proactively, but automatically my brain waking me up to the moment so I could do these mental exercises. I also have plenty of triggers in my life hanging up everywhere, reminding me to do these mental exercises. So that's the steps. Practice waking up so you wake up more often. When you wake up, take advantage of it. Do some type of affirmation. And when you're there, feel good like it's happening now. Not like it happened 2 years ago or it's going to happen 2 years from now or 2 days. It's happening now. You know, when I work with the NFL players, I tell them, I don't care if you have to think about something from high school. You could always conjure up that feeling. Bring it back, enjoy it, feel it, and watch what happens in this week's game. And then we're going to the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah. Go Eagles, go Kansas City, like you said.
Yes.
It's all a win-win.
I'm an Eagles fan in my heart. I've been an Eagles fan my whole life. Yeah, I love win-wins.
Oh man, but I'm feeling Mahorn. You know, I think he has a lion heart. You know,
he got an angel somewhere. He got something on him. I do feel that. But
quit. There's no quitting.
We'll see. I've learned a long time ago trying to predict all these different outcomes in life. You know, most of the time you're wrong. And every time you're wrong by at least just a little detail, something in the background, a picture hanging that wasn't there. You know, anytime you picture a scenario, you're wrong about something in that scenario. So I just kind of gave up on that. And I'm just like, you know what, let's just let life come to me and I'm going to watch it like a movie. And, you know, in a movie, if a guy made a left turn instead of a right, you might be like, oh man, but you're not going to harp on it.
Yeah.
When a problem happens in life, you stress about it for the next couple of days. No. See it like a movie. It just happened. I'm going to let the creator, whoever you believe in, take care of that. Let's just keep it pushing. I'm going to stay positive regardless. I'm going to enjoy myself regardless.
Believe me, I always said I think that each and every one of us needs, you know, just remain in a positive state, you know, try and avoid negativity in all beings because it really takes away it takes away from what you're really born to achieve. When you begin to focus too much on that negativity. What are the common misconceptions about how one would manifest what it is they wish to achieve?
I say the biggest one is, expecting to get it overnight. That's just not how it works. As a police officer, I would go to domestic violence.
Recording in progress.
I would go to domestic violence houses, and they had the same. That couple expects me to fix in 10 minutes what took 10 years to create. They've been having these problems for 10 years, and they want me to fix it in 10 minutes. And that's kind of is with the law of attraction, too. You can't expect to undo 20, 30, 40, 60 years of limiting beliefs. We're not going to say negative thoughts for this example. We'll just say limiting beliefs. I can only do this much. I can only make that much. I can only reach this far. Your whole life, you have these limiting beliefs from birth. The first thing you learned was, I can only cry this loud. I can only reach that far.
Mm-hmm.
So we're taught all these limits from birth, and it's being proven to us every time we leave the house or turn on the TV. So getting over those negative beliefs is a big one. And I think that the another one that's huge is a lot of people I talk to, they love the concept. They love the shirt. They love everything I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, 90% of the people I talk to say, I love it all, but I think I'm going to start on Monday.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, dude,
You're starting now. You're
using it right now.
You miss it. You need to start now.
Yeah, every day of your life, you have used this and you have not stopped. There's like, as humans, we cannot stop breathing. Okay, we can for a short period of time, but we crack back, we start back up, and we can't stop thinking. We can pause for a short period of time, but the thoughts just pop back up. Now, we all know how important breathing is to us. Thinking is even more important.
Yes.
Because, the intelligence that causes us to think is what's moving our lungs in and out involuntarily. So, it's even more important. And people got to key in on that. You can't start Monday. You were doing it right now. You've been doing it since you woke up to this earth, not today. And so that's one of the biggest things. And shockingly, after I say that to people, I could see it on their face. They're still going to try to start on Monday.
Those great words spoken by the creator of the universe. Ask, you shall receive. Seek, you'll find, and knock, the door will be open. How does that tie into the law of attraction?
It takes that courage to even go seek. With all the failures that I'll say we've had in our lives, and I'm using that example for every time we wanted to score a goal and we didn't. Every time we wanted to ace a test and we didn't. Every time we wanted to impress our parents or whatever. All these failures that we go through in life can cause one who's sitting on a sofa to say, I'll give it a shot tomorrow. Versus, you know what, I'm going to do it right now, regardless of how many people have failed. So that's the first. That's the very first one. And then you go right down the steps, like you said. That's how you get it done. That is the order of how you get it done.
Yes.
So you got that's a blueprint right there.
It's been around for years and we just never tapped into it.
Got to tap, baby. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Tap into source, get that information and knowledge, and use it and enjoy ourselves.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. We hope you found it informative, inspiring, and motivating. Born to Achieve. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Stay focused on your goals, and we'll see you on the next episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve.
Take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Sign up today and claim your free ebook at www.borntoachievegreatness.com. Follow us on Facebook at Achieve Movement Inc. Get your copy of Exploring Achieveland, A Journey to Realize Your Dreams, Motivational Stories of Kindness, Inspiring Stories for Kids on Amazon and Kindle.